Good evening and welcome to our Facebook Live this evening. My name's Jenny McCormack and I'm trying to work my way around the cat, yes. And I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. I'm based in the market town of Brackley, which is in the county of Northamptonshire here in the UK. So thank you so much for joining us. I hope everybody has had a good day and that you have a relaxing evening planned ahead. Hi Katie, I hope you've had a good day. So I will be doing some live crafting, but I finally finished the designs for this month's card class and I just wanted to run through them. It's so difficult to just photograph these and make them look as realistic as they are obviously in real life. It's really hard when you photograph, especially a quantity, and I didn't really want to do one of each one, otherwise you'd be here forever and a day. So I thought the easiest thing to do is just pop them up here in the live, and then those that are interested can have a look at it and see what they think, whether they want to take part. So there are two classes, as we did last month. There's a Christmas version and a non-Christmas version. Now the designs are very similar. The only thing that is different is that we're using different papers for each of these, and then different embellishments, so different die cuts depending on the choice. So you get plenty of paper. There's 8 designs, but you'll have, well, more than enough supplies to do twice that amount. You may need some more card bases, but the papers will make many more than you need. So let me run through the Christmas ones first. So there are similarities. So when I'm doing the classes, it won't matter whether you're doing Christmas or non-Christmas, because some of the elements will be exactly the same. So I'm just going to pop through these. These aren't in any particular order. So we have this one first. So these are the Christmas ones. And this uses Peaceful Cabin stamp set. Now you don't need the stamp set to run the class. You'll have all of these die cuts included. All you will actually need is a Christmas sentiment stamp set and an ink pad and a block and your own glue. Everything else is included. The envelopes are included and all of the card bases are included, plus any extra bits and pieces of card that you need. You can purchase the stamp set and the dies separately as part of the class if you wish, but they are just optional. So this paper behind is called Peaceful Christmas, and as you can see, it's got a hint of silver in it. I'm not sure whether you can see. Maybe if I just tilt it back, you can see there. So I've used the card in the background, and then this is one of the dies that cuts the cabin out. So that's card number 1. This one here is literally just a sentiment stamped onto this beautiful paper. So the paper has got silver embossing on it, and all I've done is added a stamped sentiment. In the background are sort of mountains or clouds, depending on which bit of the paper you've cut out. That's card number 2. Then we have this one here, which is a combination of papers just cut into strips, and there's some ribbon added across the bottom, and then these are layered up onto a white card. Then we have this one, which is a variation on the floating frame technique, where you have strips of paper and I've chosen this sort of fairly nondescript. It could be snow, it could just be metallic card behind, hoping you can see that. And you've got a silver die cut here and then a sentiment stamped on, and also you get the ribbon included. So this is white ribbon. You can opt for the black ribbon if you prefer, but I think it just lightens it up. This one is using the papers and just actually colouring in some of those little cabins. So these papers come basically black, white and grey, or grey and white really. And all I've done with this one is done a little bit of colouring in of the cabins with my blends pen, and also with the trees. Just add a little bit of green to the trees. Hope you can see that. That's number 5. This is card number 6. This is like a tri-panel card. This one is raised up in the front, and then there's a panel either side and a sentiment stamped onto that. All of the sentiments so far that you've seen are from the Peaceful Cabin stamp set. We have this one here, which is a book fold card, so it opens a bit like a book, so it's got a flat spine here, and this is the papers as is, and I've just added a sentiment onto the top, and hopefully you can just see that beautiful embossing on there. So this is a book front card. And then finally this one here again uses the papers, and all I have done with this one is actually stamped some of the trees and the little fox from the stamp set. And again, so it's using the papers as its main point. Let me show you the stamp set. So this is the Peaceful Cabin stamp set. As I say, you don't need the stamps to make the class. It does have this cabin, the fence, the little fox, some snowflakes, a little bit of fog or mist or cloud. 5 nice sentiments, and then these trees, and then the dies that cut these out are also available, and they're called the cabin dies, not really surprising. And you can cut out the fox going along the top of the ridge. We've got the ridge for the cabin itself. There's the cabin, so you can put these together and cut those out. And then we've got the trees on a skyline, and then some embossing, some of the trees that are die cut, another fence panel, that's the fox, and some snowflakes. So those are the cabin dies, so they are available, but as I say, to run the class you don't need the extra items. Okay, so that's the Christmas set. I'm going to try and move those over without losing them all. And then let me show you the non-Christmas. So this uses the artistically inked papers. So this, instead of silver, is gold with green, and it's got some orange from pale papaya, it's got some pink, and a lot of gold. So you get all of these die cuts included in your set. So this one just uses the papers, and you do get gems with this because you get a sheet of gold die cut pieces that you can use wherever you like. This one here is created using a stencil from one of the die cuts. This is the die cut here, and all I've done is use an element of this to stencil onto the card. And obviously your choice of colours for these. Sorry about my noisy dog tonight. We have this one here, so this is some of the items from the ephemera sheet that you will get. So there's some little labels, there's some gold leaves, So there's that one there. This is the variation of that floating frame. It's quite difficult to see, but we've got panels here that have been attached with dimensionals, and then you'll see some of these elements from that gold pack that you'll get. It's quite difficult when I've just got the lights on them and not the sunlight. And the sentiments I've used is from the matching stamp set, but again you could use your own sentiments. Here is the triple panel. 1, 2, 3. This one is raised and the ribbon follows through underneath. And then here we have the that book front card. Okay, so this is stuck down. I've added some ribbon inside, and this is one of the die cuts that you'll get. This is just stamped onto that lovely paper, and I've added the gems. And then this one here uses that die cut, and what I've done is used my blends pens to colour this in, to add in the green and the pink in this case to match the backing. So those are the 8 cards for the non-Christmas. And let me show you the stamp set. So you'll have seen me use this relatively recently. So I've got lots of samples of this one, artistically inked. And this has a matching set of dies. The dies cut out the flowers and the leaves, these flowers here. And it also has 2 large dies, this one and this one here. It's quite difficult for you to see, I know. And they create this piece here and this one here. So even if you didn't purchase the stamps or the dies, you will have these included. So the gold piece here, you'll also have that in white that you can use as a template. This one was white, and that's the one that I've used to also create this little soft stenciled background with the roses. So there we go. I don't know which I prefer. I have to say I like both of them for completely different reasons. And the reason why there's 8 is because I couldn't narrow down. I was going to do 6 and I just couldn't narrow them down. So which is why you've got a bumper pack of 8 designs this time round. I have to say that I've kept these fairly simple, so you can stamp a whole load of Christmas cards with these papers really quickly just by adding a sentiment. So let the papers do the work. So there's the 8 Christmas designs and 8 non-Christmas. So if you're on my mailing list, you can take this class either in person or you can take it online, and I'll send your goodie box to you in the post. That's if you're based in the UK. You can purchase the tutorials, which are video tutorials, and attend the online class, and this is perfect if you're not in the UK. And that's a cost of £10 for the tutorials and the online class only, if you have your own supplies, for example. Okay, so that's enough of those. So if you're on my email list, you'll have an email hopefully when I've finished it this evening. I just need to photograph these and add them in. And if you do need to book, then book fairly promptly. I have a closing date I think of Sunday of this week, and then I'll order the items on expedited shipping on Monday so that I get them in plenty of time. Okay, so let us carry on with our crafting, and this evening I'm going to case the catalogue, and I've been using Stars Are Shining all of this week. And oh, the samples are in here. I knew I put them somewhere safe. So on Monday I use the new tag kit. I think that was Monday. Honestly can't remember, but yes, it was definitely Monday. And so this is what I created Tuesday. I did this one here using the stamp set and the punch. And just raise it up a little bit, try and take it out of the light. So Twinkle Twinkle Christmas Star, and then this has got Merry and Bright, Be Merry and Bright on the inside. And then this one, traditional red and green. Oh, Katie's ordered the Christmas papers. Excellent. Good choice, Katie. So this one is red and green, and I've added that to the inside. And then the one we're going to do today is this one, just tucked away in here. It's quite difficult to see. I'm just going to lift it up a little bit. So this has a navy blue card. It has some patterned paper on the top, and then it has a circle from which the stars have been punched. So I'm going to recreate some of that for you. So what I have is a Night of Navy card base. I will put an insert inside. Now I've got a bit of this paper from the Whimsy and Wonder paper collection. This is another piece from it. So it's really pretty, quite feminine Christmas papers with pinks and blues. This is another element to that. So what I've done is I've cut out a border, cut out the middle bit so I can use that for punching the stars. And then this piece, which is Misty Moonlight, has got little Christmas trees on it and stars. That's what they've used in the sample. And so that's going to go onto the top of that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to punch out the stars from my scrap piece of Night of Navy, and then use my circle die over the top to cut that out. So what I did was I took the Starlit Punch, so this has got 6 stars on it, and then I chose a circle framelit that would be larger than that, so that I've got obviously a border around it. So what I'm going to do is punch this first, because if you've got a circle, that's quite difficult to put in there and get it lined up centrally. So I'm going to punch these out, and I want to punch these papers at the same time. So rather than do them separately, I'm going to do them hopefully both together. I haven't tried this. So just going to push that right up into the middle of there, and I'm going to turn this over. Oh, that was a bit thick. Oh yes, it was a bit, wasn't it? Okay, let's come this end. Might get away with that. Okay, so that's better. I was asking rather a lot, wasn't I, really? So those are the stars punched out of the card, and then I'm going to use this die. If I put this flat, you'll see that better. I use that die to cut around it, and then I'm going to punch some stars out of this piece here. Let's find a bit where it's not, I haven't torn it. I was just thinking, do I need to do that? Yes, I do. Okay. So it goes through those nice and easily. So what I'm going to do is run this through my die cutting embossing machine, and I might grab another piece as I rather made a mess of that, because on the picture they've got something else showing through, and I thought that would be quite nice. So I don't know why I did the stars, although I could put those stars on the top. Maybe it will work with those. So all I'm going to do is pop that through, and obviously it doesn't matter how I punch that out. Just going to bring up my embossing machine near at hand. Find my other plate. Pop this through. So I hope everybody's had a nice day. It's been nice weather here, a little bit cooler, but nice weather otherwise. So I'm just centralising my stars. And then I'm just going to run that through. Just move my coat out of the way. Sorry that is out of view. Okay. So, and obviously if you had stitched framelets, or if you had an interesting pattern or something, an interesting, you know, other design. So I've just used a circle as they've got in here. So because this is navy and this is misty moonlight, you can see that element through it. And then what I've got are my stars that I can use to decorate. In the sample, they've also stamped and punched out their stars, and they've done that with misty moonlight. So what I'm going to do is just decide if that's going to be enough behind, or whether I want something lighter behind this. So I sort of had in mind before I made a mess of this, but I think actually that's rather a lot underneath. So let me just see if I've got anything else to hand that's light to put behind. Now what I could do is I could stamp the stars. Let's give that a go. There we go. So these stars are all on one stamp. So I'm thinking what I can do is just stamp these so they sit behind. That's my plan. So I'm just going to pop those on a block. I've got Night of Navy, which I'm going to ink up. So if you're watching, do say hi so that I know that you're watching live. Obviously if you're watching on replay and you have any queries or anything, then don't hesitate to leave a comment, and if you've got a query then obviously I will get back to you. I do try and check them on a regular basis. Occasionally a few slip through the net. Okay, so thinking what I could actually do is that, so that you've got that behind that panel. What do you think? So the best thing to position that would be had a smaller circle, but I think what I'm going to do is position that on there, like so, and then pop this back on top. And then I want to take that out. Okay, let's put a little bit of tape on that to hold it in place. Now what I might do is I might trim around this circle. I could use a slightly smaller circle. That might be better. Let's have a look and see. Just the next one down, it's this one here. Okay, so I'm going to try that. So yeah, that will work. So I'm just using a smaller circle so that if I haven't got it quite centered, it should be okay. I wouldn't need to do so much chopping. There we go. So just going to pop that down. I've just got some magic tape here. You could use washi tape as long as it's not too strong. And I've got the smaller circle that I'm now going to pop through my die cutting machine. So slight variation from the sample in the catalogue. And plates. So rather well used plates, but they still do the job. So just going to run that through. Just want to lift this here, take my magic tape off, just keep it at the side of my table and use that a few times. There's another bit here, there we go. Okay, so those are my two circles. So I'm hoping now that this will fit on here like so, which it does. Okay, and then this is going to go onto here. So I have the choice of which bit to raise up, whether I raise this bit or have it flat and raise the whole thing. It looks like this bit is raised up. So let's do some layering. So this is my piece that I cut around the edge, just so I'm not wasting the bit in the middle. And then I'll pop the star piece. So just a thin line of glue. So, and that. This is going to go onto our navy card. Oops. So the inside of that is not particularly tidy, but that doesn't matter because you're not going to see that. I just literally cut it on my trimmer, but you could use a frame and cut that element out. There's a star there. Okay, so I really want this star to be straight, so I could have it this way, and then that will sit on there, so that will definitely work. So let's pop this layer on. So this is Christmas paper. It's got very fine printed Christmas trees, but you could use this for any occasion. You could stamp just some stars on the background. Don't necessarily have to be Christmas, and certainly if you just punched this with lots of different papers and didn't use the stamps, then you'd definitely get away with these as being a non-Christmas card. So stars are always good for young men, young girls, teachers, anything like that. Okay. Right, so there's my base, and then just going to the side, I quite like that up top right hand side rather than the large one being down here. Don't know why, I just do. So I'm going to place this down flat like so, and because it's circular, it won't matter which way round you put it. Let's get it roughly central though. And before that sticks, I'm just going to make sure that this is going to fit nicely on there, not not too high. Yep, I reckon that will do nicely. So this piece here is going to go up on top. Make sure I've got it the right way around. So I'm going to turn that over and add some small dimensionals in these little gaps. So we had an in-person team meeting on Tuesday of this week. That was really good fun. And then this evening we have an online business focused meeting for those in our team that are building a business or thinking about turning their hobby into a business. So that follows straight after this Facebook Live. So busy, and then all of the emails for my classes will go out this evening. I've had some bookings already because I did show the papers a little while ago. There we go. These mini ones are really useful. Saves you having to cut them up, so it just saves time, but it takes longer to take the little backings off, of course. Now I could have cut this out of some glimmer paper, that would be rather nice, but I've kept it to the navy. I'm going to take my glasses off and position this over those gaps. And there's a tiny little star at the top. That's the one that I'm sort of using to mark that. So if you can see that, like so. And then in the sample they've got stars dotted around. So I've got these ones that match this on the back here. So what I could do is add some, so they've got them sort of, so they haven't got a stamp piece on the back, so I wonder if, so those are too close, I wonder if I might take a piece of balmy blue for these other ones. Let me just grab, as if I've got a piece to hand, or a piece. I don't really think they stand out enough, so bear with me a second. Got to reach over the dog. Oh, sorry, let's see. I've just got some scraps, so that's balmy blue, that would be better. Actually, that's not balmy blue. Oh. Let's have a look and see which would be best. So this is Pool Party. This is balmy blue. The one I had before was Seaside Spray, which is retired, but actually it did look rather good. I might fish that piece out. That's a different one again. That's Marina Mist. So this is Seaside Spray. So I am going to use that. I don't normally use retired cardstock, but this is in my scraps drawer. So I think that's the best combination. It's the right sort of hue of the blue. So I might just stamp these and I can punch those out. I think that will work. And there we are, we can put that cards together, and then we've got a sentiment going across the top. So this is how it appears in the punch. So to make my life easier, I'm going to stamp that and punch it out. I could just punch the shapes, to be honest. There we go. Turn that over. That just stops the little pieces going back into your punch. There we go. So now I can add these. So in the sample they have these just scattered around, like so. Well, there. Obviously I could turn it over and just have the plain ones, like so, if I wanted to. Okay, just going to leave that there for a minute, and in the catalogue that I'm copying this from, they've got Celebrate the Wonder going across the middle. I might actually put mine across the bottom because I feel it's slightly top heavy as it stands. I don't know what you think. So let's grab a strip of paper. It's my assorted offcuts here. And I could use a die cut as well. The stars are shining brightly would work. Twinkle Twinkle Christmas Star, that would also work. I think I might do that one again. hi Beverly. Thank you for joining us this evening. It's only just popped up, so I apologise. So let's see, we have Twinkle Twinkle Christmas Star. Let's find that block there. I'm hoping it will fit on this piece, which it does. There we go. So I think what I'm going to do is put that on the bottom, but maybe put 2 stars on either side. So, and I'm going to fit that right across that width, I think. I could have it short with an angle. I think stars are always nice, as you say, Katie. I mean, they're great for men's cards, children's cards. So the width of this, I know, is 9.5 centimetres. So I'm just trying to get that roughly in the middle. Probably completely wrong. Oh, not far. Not far off. Okay, so I'm going to pop this up on dimensionals and then work out what I'm going to do with these loose stars. So this is from page 14 of the Stampin' Up! July to December catalogue. So for us here in the UK, it's winter catalogue, or Christmas catalogue if you prefer. So take my glasses off again. Push that across there like so. And so I was thinking this one here is rather a nice traditional star shape. So I could have 2 like that to bring in the 2 colours and put a little bling on that, or I could punch another one out of the navy, which I think I might do. So just punch that one out. So like that and that. And then let's just see. I don't want it to be too overbearing. I mean, I could just leave it like that, to be honest. I think it works. But let's see if we can put maybe a few small stars on there. So I've got that one. I've got this one here. And maybe this one. Just don't want to really cover up everything that's there. I've got another small one. Got a tiny blue one. See, I think that's too overpowering. I want that one to be the main thing there. That's close to that. You wouldn't think putting a star on was actually really that difficult, would you? I swear I'm making it a lot more complicated than it needs to be. Like so. I think. one underneath. No. It's that minuscule little one in there. I think they've got this sort of coming around the edge, but I think I'm going to stick with it like that, with these here, and then add a little bit of silver or blue bling. That's my plan. Okay, let's move that out of the way because that's shining rather a lot. And because I've got this up on dimensionals already, I think I'll put just one here with a dimensional on. That can go off the side a little bit. And then this one is plain. Ooh. There we go. That one's on, and then there's this tiny little one here that I'm just going to add a dot of glue and then drop it on. Like so. And then I'm not going to use my finger to push that down, I'm just going to use my piercing tool. There we go. Okay, pop these two on, and then we are done. So making of the card was the last 25 minutes or so, and then the beginning of the video is our class projects for October. There we are. I put them slightly jaunty so they're not obviously identical and they're not in place. So let me bring that up. I'm just going to add some bling to this. Let me grab my box. And I think either silver, or I've got in here some blue. Oh, I could just go for our plain rhinestones. I do have some other blue gems, but those ones are just a little bit too big. Let's see if I've got any smaller ones. No, those are all large as well. So let's just stick with some plain dimensionals, gems. Okay. So I'm going to put one in this center one here. Oh, thank you, Katie. I love doing my class in a box, I have to say. I have ramped them up for Christmas so that you have the choice of Christmas and non-Christmas, but it is, I have to say, it's quite a bit more work. But I know that not everybody wants to do Christmas already, or they've already done their Christmas cards. I have a lot of people that have done their Christmas cards already. So I don't want to exclude those really from my classes, so that's why up till now we've had both options. So let's put these two, one there and one there. Just going to centralize that, that's a bit better. There we go, and our card is finished. Put that away. So let me show you that a little bit closer. So I've got lots of little stars. So what I tend to do is I put those in a little bag and put them in with the stamp set, so that when I come to do something else, I've got stars at the ready. So this is cased from page 14 of the catalogue. So if I just turn that, you can see hopefully where the bling is. So I've got a navy blue card, some Whimsy Wonder paper, some more Whimsy Wonder paper there as a contrast, and then I punched out and then die cut the circle afterwards, because it's very difficult to put a circle into your punch and have it punched evenly. And then I've added sentiment across the bottom, and the stars and the bling all added. So there we go, that is our card finished. I will stamp out an envelope, and I will also add an inner and just add maybe some of these spare stars to that. So thank you so very much for joining me this evening. Thank you, Beverly, for your kind comments, and I look forward to crafting with some of you again very soon. So I do have coffee and card in person Friday afternoons here in Brackley, and I will have all of the details for booking the class in a box going out by email shortly. So if you're not on my email list and you would like to be, just comment or send me a private message or email me, Jenny at Jemini Crafts, or you can use the link here on Facebook, and I'm more than happy to send you the information about our class in a box or our in-person classes. Obviously there's no pressure to join those. If you just want to see what we get up to, then do pop along and have a look. Thank you so much. I hope you have a good evening for those that are joining us from Europe, and if you're joining from America, have a good day, and if you're joining from Australia, have a good day ahead. Thank you so much, everybody. Thanks for joining. Keep crafting, take care, look after each other. Thank you. Bye for now.